But of course, speaking of nut jobs from Florida, Chad, of course, lives there, and he has got a new friend on the scene, a guy who, just like you mentioned, how the dark corner of the internet. I think that Stuttering John is the worst example of all that shit because he has nothing but time. He will
Right.
stay in his house. He will sit there and think. He will fucking lose his mind and just get angry and bitter and jealous at everybody all day. And the thing that's so funny about him is that he always says, "Oh, what have you done me all life? I was on Howard Stern. I was on the Tonight Show." And it's like, well, that's great that you did that, but where are you now? That means either we've risen up to your level or you've sunk down to ours. Either way, it's a bad look for Night Melendez's father. But I gotta ask you, Chad, do you think the fact that he's like in your town, pretty much, uh, what is like your whole experiences of meeting Stuttering John in person to what he's become today?
Well, he's always been a piece of shit. Like that's never changed. But when I met him in person, he was a broken down old man, and he came to my comedy show, and I said, you know what, I don't want any problems tonight, and I didn't have any at the time. I really didn't hate the guy. I can't say that now. So I just went up and tried to be cool, and he's like, apologize, and I'm like, what am I apologizing for? For showing fake Venmos on the screen? Really? I trolled you? And I said, all right, sorry, whatever. And then he was actually decent throughout the evening, and then he just he's just an unbearable prick over the course of time, and he thinks he's something. Like whatever he has in his mind of what he is, his IMDb. I don't care what he's done. I'm not impressed that he was on Leno. I don't care if he was on Celebrity Get Me. None of that. He's in the shit verse now with shitty people, and he's a piece of shit. And you're a loser, and you're beneath a lot of people, but he thinks he's above everyone, and he's not. And I just don't like. I don't like him, and I don't like how he treats people. And I know what he was trying to do with me. He was trying to control me, and he tried to get me. He always wants something. He doesn't reach out. He wants something, and that's what he is. And I didn't want to be a pylon guy. I didn't want to go into business as Stuttering John. I'm not like a Shuley Network. I'm not a Carl, but he makes it pretty fucking impossible to not like him, and he always makes it personal. So that's where I'm at with John.
And is my gift to you, Chad, I can reveal on the air that that stupid fuck watches clips from other people's show, talk about SJ, of course, and he doesn't know how to make it transformative. He just sits there and he goes, "This is awful. This ain't funny. This is terrible." Well, I have he watched the clip that I did, and I don't know which one it was. I now have the ability to strike Stuttering John's channel, and I will do it. And I think it's going to be funny when it happens because, and it's all on him. And we're watching his mental decline. We're seeing how he's
Yeah.
fucking panicking, how he's getting red in the face, how he's becoming lonely again this time of year. He's fucking. It's another Christmas vacation where his family don't want to be with him. They want to be with everybody but him. His fucking kids literally roasted him in the speech at
I
their
saw that.
mom's wedding, which he wasn't invited to. That's how much of an unlikable he is. And she also married a you know what. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it did happen. But I just think there was Stuttering John, like, and also the fact is that his friend, his friendship is a fucking English guy wearing a mask who stays in the house on a Friday night. That's his partnership. And then you've got that fucking Vince the lawyer who I cannot get a hold of. Where the fuck is he? I want to interview Vince the lawyer. Hook me up with Vince the lawyer. But
I
Ekul,
yeah.
you what?
I said I met him once. I don't have his contact, but I'm sure he's pretty easy to just get a hold of. I mean, just
Oh yeah.
DM him.
But I got some DMs if you know what I mean. But Echo, talk to me about your opinion of the Chad versus Stuttering John thing. I love when comedians feud because, well, it's funny.
Or
But
that's a bit generous to Stuttering John, referring
True,
to him as a comedian.
Yeah, I don't mean that personally, Chad. I take that back. But with Stuttering John, it's like a really, it's like a lunatic, like the type of guy you cross the street if you see, because he will try to speak to you in public. Talk to me about your opinions on this SJ versus Chad feud.
Yeah, of course. So, to be honest, I've just got to give Chadster over here a bit more credit because he just blew past the Venmo thing as if it wasn't top 3 Doubleverse moments of all time. I remember watching it, and was it like a good hour of you just constantly trolling him and you trying not to lose your shit with Tony? Just like it was genuinely a brilliant moment. So well done, Chad. Obviously you know that, but that was a great entertainment for everyone on every side. Whoever watched it loved it, apart from John maybe.
And it was fun to just watch him get madder and madder.
And he's like, well, I get a vig, right? And you're like, what? He's like, I get it. And you're like, I'll sort it out later. He's like, but you're gonna give me some of it, right? And you're like, we'll sort it out later. He's like,
yeah.
So yeah, just a little shout out there, Chad. Very good. But yeah, I watched the back and forth. Chad's always been pretty diplomatic with John, seeing as obviously, you know, KB isn't on good terms. So, you know, he'll be polite back. He'll kind of say certain things, but he can't kind of go on his show nonstop for free like a loser like the other people do. And I think John just expected Chad to fuck over KB, his relationship with KB, I guess, just to please John, which doesn't make any sense for Chad.
None.
You know, that's a different source of income. He's got a different relationship with KB, like professional, friendship, whatever it is. And John's just like, yeah, but come on my show for free and we'll be buddies and don't worry about that. And it's like, yeah, okay.
But like, why did I? And he insisted I go on his first episode of Hypocrisy Police, and I swear to God, I try to avoid it more than I try to avoid Hughezy's show. Like I was like, I am busy. I gotta go to this. I gotta go there. I gotta do this.
Zing.
And he finally pinned me down. I go, okay, I can do it. And I did. I didn't want to be there. I was annoyed, and I just started fucking with him because he was being unbearable. And then Shuli and those guys started noticing I was fucking with him, so they joined in, and then then Tony got in, and we just totally fucking messed with him, and it was hilarious. And but he was so pissed and so mad about it that he made me apologize to him in AC. And I'm just like, all right,
sure. We're really sorry. But what I want to say as well with Chad, he could quite easily kind of piled in then with Shuli afterwards. You know, tried to be on more shows, do shows together, be more involved on jumping in on John, and he didn't. And John doesn't care about that, but maybe if he had a little bit of like hindsight, he would go, Chad actually wasn't too bad. He has apologized as well, which no one else does. So yeah, maybe cut you some slack, but it's John we're talking about, and he's a fucking so.
But now he's taking it to a new level. Like he went after my Patreon and he got it deleted, and that's a lot of money that he's fucking with. And now he's striking my channel on screen every day. He already struck it in the past. A year ago, he struck it twice. So this guy just goes after people. Like he always threatens everybody nonstop on stream. Nothing ever happens to him. And then when you tell him, okay, I'll meet you here, he comes up with another thing. So the guy's garbage.
You knew he was never going to go to any of those places, Chad. You knew that when you was like, well, how about we meet here? You knew he'd have some excuse.
Well, that's why I kept doing it, because I knew it. I was like, I'll corner you every time. Let's meet. Let's go. Like worst case scenario, I'll show up and I'll have people videotape it. He throws a punch. Perfect. I have it on tape. TMZ play it. Hughezy play it. WATP play it for months. It'll be great.
Can I ask you a question about the Patreon stuff? Is that all right? Just because I've not followed it. Not you, Hughezy. Not all Chad, about you, mate. Yeah, it's about Chad, the actual star. So obviously it got struck and you lost a significant amount of money. I did see that allegedly at some point you got Venmo'd money towards it from the legend, I believe. I think you've said this already, so I'm not trying to kind of catch. What happened? Did you return that? Did you give it back? Has he got it? What's happened with that?
I just sent it back just because.
Yeah, okay.
But the he's like there's a fake legend in here. I think it's Citizen M, but there's he kind of disappeared. Yeah, that guy. It's not him.
Oh God, yeah.
Because he sent me this long email and apologizing, and I said, okay, I'll put it to rest. And he's so far been a man of his word, so I just let it go. It's just I think he got into this and not realizing how toxic it was, and he was coming in trying to have fun, and then he realized, oh shit, this is overwhelming. And I think people were trying to go after him and doxed him, so he just really backed the fuck off. And
he did quite a fair bit of that himself. I'm not saying you're saying that, but he did quite a bit of that himself. So maybe don't want to get dirty, don't lie down.
Right.
I don't know.
Have you ever felt sorry for Stuttering John?
I did. I did at one point. I go, wow, it's fucking overwhelming. But then you meet him and you get to know who he really is. You're like, oh wait, he brings this all on himself. He has no redeeming quality about him. This guy's an awful human being. He deserves everything he gets. So yeah, the days of feeling sorry for Stuttering John are over. He gets what he deserves at this point.
Yeah, and this latest thing that he's doing, that because I don't mind liars. I'm pretty good at lying. I have no problem with English people at all.
Chad, you want to know something? He's not even really Irish. He's British. Did you know that? He's not even really Irish. Fake Irish.
Hello.
See?
Northern Ireland.
Fish and chips. There's fish and chips in my. That's what the Queen said at Christmas before she OD'd on heroin. But the thing about it is, for me, Chad, is that this new thing that Stuttering John's doing, where he's pretending now that he's in close contact with Greg Fitzsimmons, who's related to fucking ugly Kate Meany, and now they're going to do it so that they're now talking about suing Shuley. Because, like, why the fuck would she give a shit? And here's the whole thing. You can tell when he's lying because he's a bitch. He's not like a man's man.
Right.
His nasally voice goes up like when a woman's lying to you. When they try to say, I don't have a giant cock. What the fuck would they know? Who a bitch? Yeah. You can hear it in Stuttering John's voice because his voice usually speaks like this. But now his voice goes up like this when he's lying. Fucking throat. I just think that he's. Yeah. Would you like a sip?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, maybe later. We're getting started. We're having a good time here, right, guys? Right, Chad? You having fun?
Oh yeah, it's the best.
Fuck yeah! Ooh.
I think I showed you this on a stream before, but do you know where that is?
It's a Dublin Bridge.
Okay, that's me. I was in your backyard one time, buddy.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, I would have had you killed.
So don't mess with him, Hughezy, all right? Because he'll fly out there again and he'll sort you right out in Minecraft.
He knows where you are. So, hang on. We've got a few super chats here from Spaghetti Factory.
Skip the legend. I don't want to deal with Citizen M right now. Ray DeVito touched me at a Planet Fitness in Midtown. That's confirmed.
Yeah, he definitely did it. Ray actually told me yesterday that that's what his plan was to do. It's disgusting. Stephen Bravo became a new member. Thank you, Stephen.
Stephen Bravo's a great guy. He's a good contributor. He's funny on Twitter. Give him a follow. I like him.
Yeah, and I think he runs the YouTube channel. Is it called Dabbleversity?
I don't know. He's promoting Kevin's soundboard on my channel, and that's a good one too. So go subscribe to that.
Hey, Chad.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not Kevin Sounds BORED? That's one of my hilarious jokes done with a fantastic impression. Also a member is G-Rob.
She's also she's a moderator. I sent a lot of people over here. She's one of them. So hi, G-Rob.
You're a great lady, G-Rob, and you're a woman. You know what that means. Daniel August for $4.99, which is about £3 English. Thank you. Take this off the goal. MS Unite. That means Marks and Spencers in the UK. What's this? FKA, the Ghetto Basement, Mud Shark Army, hashtag fuck Stuttering John, Ekul rules. You're blocked. You're blocked.
Thank you.
Can't
thanks for the $2. If that was a Stuttering John $2, it's like, your daughter has a dick. Oh, thanks very much for the $2. That's his whole life.
For the $2. What are you gonna do? Here is it $2. Thanks for the $2. Rock Bottom Read the Video podcast. Why did you make a group chat to dox me, Chad?
We did, man. Your name's out there. Everyone knows it, Ray, from our group chat. Everyone knows about Ray. They know you're a comedian. They know you
allegedly
split time. You're from Cleveland and New York. We got all your information, Ray. You're fucked.
Yeah, Ray, you toilet sniffer. 721 Colgate. Thanks for the $2. No record of it does not equate to never happened.
That's right.
I think that's the right thing. people are victims.
Speaking of which, I have a show called The Ray DeVito Show that's on Wednesdays at 9:30. Me and Dr. Chow. Go subscribe to my channel, get a membership, and watch it. We had a banger yesterday with KB as our special guest, not Kevin Brennan, but KB the Chatter.
You know, I hope this doesn't come across as being sexist. KB, have you ever noticed Chad has a really big fucking tits?
Yeah. That's all I look at.
Yeah. Another one from Spaghetti Factory. Ray DeVito went on a Bumble date with a trans girl. I gotta be honest, you know that one Blair White, the gun nut trans person? I'd take a beach.
Would you take a beach? Would you take a beach from Nikki Norton?
No, she's so annoying.
She's
so annoying.
unattractive. I like my trannies to have the brunette look. I'm not gay. Oh wait, sorry, that's a rude one. We'll not have that. Egon just became a member. Thank you very much, Egon.
Egon's a good egg too. He's a good egg.
Hey, oh look at this. Deadful gifted 10.
Whoa! Deadful is a fucking Hall of Famer on my channel. He's
everywhere. He's a VIP.
Everyone loves Deadful. He's a great guy, good contributor, funny dude.
And speaking of giant fucking tits, this big titted fucking whore is now a YouTube member, and you're welcome, baby.
Usually, I don't want to exploit the customers in the chat, but I mean, how nice are KB's tits?
Well, I'm not one to be vulgar, but the last time I seen them, I thought this. Ow! That came out of my penis! Yeah. But that's what they're there for. They're there to be ogled. But that's one of the things I've got to say about Stuttering John is that did you ever listen to the Jay Moore podcast way back in the day?
Full disclosure, this is a funny story. I haven't talked about it to a lot of people. I used to book Jay Moore's podcast.
No.
Yeah, when I was living in LA, I did a couple gigs with Jay, and he goes, because I told him I was in radio. I was like, what'd you do? I was like, I was a co-host. I kind of produce. He's like, you can produce? And I go, yeah. He's like, can you get guests? I go, yeah. He goes, I'll pay you. I go, awesome. So I started booking Jay guests for his podcast, and we had like a money amount of what we would get for particular guests. And I got him a few, and then I got him Daryl McDaniels, DMC from Run DMC. And then I swear to God, true story. This is back when Jay was on drugs. He's clean and sober from what I hear now. He's married to Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Lakers. But
how the fuck did he get her? He was fat as fuck, bald, broke, and then he gets a billionaire who with a nice fart box. Not to be rude.
So I booked Daryl McDaniels, DMC. I met him. He'd been on my podcast, and he was driving to Jay's house. I forgot where he was living at the time, but he calls me, DMC, Daryl McDaniels, going, hey, he has a weird voice. He's like, I'm trying to get a hold of Jay. I'm going to his house. And I'm like, yeah, let me call him. He wouldn't pick up. Jay just blew it off, and Daryl McDaniels was pissed. And I finally got a hold of Jay, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I had other things going on. I go, dude, you fucked me. Dude, like Daryl McDaniels hates me now because of you. So I quit. I told Jay to go fuck himself. But he was on drugs at the time, so all's forgiven.
How big is Jay Moore's penis? Do you know?
I don't know. I really don't. I would love to share that story.
It's got to be gargantuan. Like, it has to have like sections in it, because he had fucking Nikki Cox as a wife.
Yeah.
And he fucked her until she was mentally ill. Then he broke up with her. Now he's married to a billionaire who bought him his own house so that she can stay in her place. Like, this dick must have fucking codes inside it. This is insane. Talk to me about Jay Moore's penis.
I don't know about the penis, but Jay's a very charming guy. He can hold court. He's funny, so I'm sure. He's had a good career. He's been on a lot of stuff. He's been in things, and he's been in Hollywood for a long time. And let's face it, Jeannie Buss is a billionaire, but what is it? She's in her 60s. It's not like it's, it is what it is. Good for him, I guess. I'm just glad he's happy.
I would.
I'm rich.
But the thing about her as well is that Like, how do you go from broke and taking like supporting roles and straight to supermarket movie films to now you're sitting front row beside Jack Nicholson? Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I need to know what went on with him. Send him the link. Send him the link.
I got the email address though, if you want it.
Oh, excellent. But I also don't know how the fuck he got Nikki Cox, because there was a time that she was the best looking woman in the world. Like, she had milkers, she had a fart box, she had all the things necessary, and she also was in Terminator 2. So
she was?
Yeah, she was one of the one of the ones that Shoeless producer Iso said was the really hot girls that Robert Patrick asked for directions. They go, oh, they were at the Galleria. And he goes, the Galleria? And he was, of course, John Connor was hanging about with
that ginger from Terminator 2.
Oh,
that's right. He was hanging around with that guy. So she was in Terminator 2, and by the way, Ekul,
Chad, do you watch this movie as much as Hughezy, where you know every little bit of it?
I mean,
including the extras.
Terminator 2 was a big movie. It was one of the biggest.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Ekul, well, you got a problem with me talking about that obscure art house film, Terminator 2?
Well, I got a cool thing about here's a little Snapple trivia. Robert Patrick, who played T2, he's from Cleveland, and his brother is the founder and lead guy in the band Filter. You know the band Filter?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, nice shot, man. That's his brother.
I know that song from the Cable Guy.
Hey, nice shot. Yeah. So that's his. What's his something Patrick? And and the only reason I know, he follows me on Twitter, and he like DM'd me one time saying I'm a big fan, and he used to listen to me on the radio. The guy from Filter, and then I found out his brother was Robert Patrick. I go, oh, this is the greatest story ever to me, not for a podcast.
At that point, did you start replying to him when you're like, oh, wait, your brother's someone interesting? How are you doing? Good to speak with you.
Let's talk about your brother.
Yeah. But
is he free?
It's Richard Patrick. Richard Patrick is his name.
Right.
Yeah, but to sum up the Stuttering John section, I don't like Stuttering John.
That's how you want to sum up?
There we go. But I got to ask you, because of course, Chad Zumock versus Stuttering John, it's very legit. It's got people talking. Nobody's on Stuttering John's side. Everybody's team Mud forever. Sharks unite.
Even Carl from WATP was defending me, which I never thought I'd see in a million years. So I'm like, wow, this is how repulsive and awful Stuttering John is. He unites everyone that doesn't get along. We all together not liking this guy. And I wasn't trying to be a pylon guy, but he's the worst human being of all time. He makes Americans look awful, doesn't he? He makes America looks like a horrible place.
My prediction for 2024, 2025, let me try that again, which is next year. Chad Zumock and Carl are going to end the feud. And because you're going to unite over this Stuttering John stupidity. And I think that Carl could help you with this Patreon shit, because SJ tried the same stuff with him, and Carl had drama, then he got it fixed. Carl maybe a silly goose, but he's not a jerk. Pardon my language, guys. So I think Carl would help you out.
Well, Carl did admit he got really personal with me. He said those are his words, and he said he's never done that. So I'm not looking to bury the hatchet, if you will. I like making fun of him still, and I like I said, I don't hate anybody in this universe except for Stuttering John. Like, I can legitimately say I don't hate him. I mean, I do hate him. Excuse me.